me, and it was only one or two of them in dental
That-
school. But
That's
it
really
was
interesting.
really exciting, interesting. I've enjoyed the journey.
39 wonderful years.
Yes,
So
yes.
now you mentioned something about sleep, and I'm gonna just go off the page for a minute. How many hours of sleep do you get?
Well, I used to get quite a few, but in my profession, my job that I have now, running the dental division, I have a lot of responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just wake up, like every 3 hours or something, thinking about something I have to do. It may even be an idea to resolve an issue, but I don't sleep usually more than 5 hours straight.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that. Doctor, it's really an honor to have you on the show. Kudos go out to the leadership over here at GPHA. Marquise has spoke so much about you. And they all thought this would be a great segue with all the great work that they do over there at GPHA.
Yeah.
Maggie Lyons and George
Yeah.
Timbers and the CEO, and I even go back to Ron Hagler. And and
Yeah.
it's really funny when you guys purchased that building here at 30th and is that
Read. Yeah.
Reed Street. I want to be clear for those that are viewing and listening. I recall vividly coming over there, meeting with Ron Hagler, Mr. Hagler, and he told me that that building was at one time a bakery. And
Yeah.
then what was really astonishing to me was he walked me throughout the whole facility and showed me the dental rooms. So you guys carry, I hope folks get this. We talking about you guys over there at GPA cover a wealth of services. And that is a one shop stop kind of thing to do. I don't know nobody else that's doing that. I know about GPH here at 30th Street. I know about 4th Street out of Sis. I know about Washington Avenue. I know about Chinatown. I know about Woodland Avenue. But we're going to dive into this because I want folks to really understand here's a organization, and again, a one-stop shop organization. High tech. Oh my God, it's really a phenomenal organization. Kudos go out again to the leadership and the visionary folks who really understood the need for services in all these communities: Huntington Park, West Philly, South Philly, Chinatown, Washington
Yeah.
Avenue. You guys are all over. So, wow, you see, I get excited about this.
Yeah,
And I
but
get,
I do too, Derek.
yeah,
I'm the same way. I get so excited about the things that we do. And speaking of the dental department at Carl Moore, that is our largest facility that we have with 8 operatories. And we're very proud of it because, like you said, it is state of the art. And people don't associate, maybe it's changing, but when I first got into community health, community health centers were thought of as, you go there, you get substandard care because, it's only low income people going to get services. So they associate low income with poor quality. That
yeah,
is not the case for GPHA. We are recognized, by our peers. We are recognized by our regulatory bodies, by the insurance companies that we contract with because of the quality of the services
yeah,
that we provide. In dentistry, in the dental division, we provide evidence-based quality products that go in your mouth or that are assisting with removing aerosols from the air. We have training. We have something, and I'm sure someone said it along the way, called GPHA University. And it's over 3,000 courses, I think, now that our staff, if you're an employee, you can go on free of charge and get all kinds of training under different areas: leadership, infection control, regulatory, mental health, physical health. We just have so much. And I'm just proud of what Brian Clark, Mr. Hegler, my peers on the executive team, our senior managers. I mean, we are
Yeah.
forced to be reckoned with,
Yes.
and I don't say it lightly, you
Yeah.
know.
And you were so right, Dr. Lloyd. As I was speaking with you early in the day, it just really, it was almost like we could have kept having this discussion
Yeah.
because I can feel the energy that you bring to an organization like GPHA. And I say that for everybody else over there. Mr. Clark, when I met Mr. Clark, he was on the show. Me and Maggie Lyons are really good friends, and Marquisha and George and the rest of the folks over there. Every time I ever came over to the building, starting back at Alice 6, it's a wonderful organization. So wow, and you started at 25th in York. You
Yes,
know,
I did. Yes, I did. My father really was, and my mother too, grew up in North Philadelphia. So I did have some roots in North Philadelphia, and it was really difficult for me to leave, but it was time for me to leave. I stayed much longer than I thought I was because, again, I told you that was my baby, and I stayed there. But like I said, I have enjoyed the ride.
yeah, it's
And
amazing. And we don't see too many young Black African American women working in the field of dentistry at that level. I think
yeah,
one of the questions that I really wanted to talk about is some of the health disparities that you see in our Black and Brown communities. And I'm quite sure you've been doing this quite some time. In 39
yes,
years, have things changed in terms of, are we losing in terms of, we talk about health disparities and everything else in the middle of COVID-19, we are dealing with
yeah.
a host of issues.
Well, it access is one of the biggest disparities for our community, even though we're urban, we're in the heart of the city. But finding providers,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
for your audience, when I say providers, I mean doctors, dentists, the people that treat people. A lot of them do not want to accept medical assistance. That is 70+% of our patient population. So if it's limited where you can go where they take your insurance, then you're going to have a problem.
Yes.
The providers themselves do not take the plan. So even if they're in your neighborhood, they don't take your insurance.
Ye-
So that's an issue. Also, I call it dental IQ, and it's not to be disparaging or anything to anyone, but a lot of us just don't understand the importance, the significance of good oral hygiene, good oral health, the
Yes.
benefits of that, and how that is connected. We also don't value what we have. That saying, you don't miss it until it's gone. Well,
Yeah.
that's the way a lot of people are with teeth. They think it's just one tooth, but you can tell the difference when you try to chew your food and that tooth is missing.
Yes, ma'am.
That now you have other teeth and you may be able to, but it is a cumulative effect when you lose a tooth. Things change, they shift, and so they don't understand that relationship.
Yeah.
So that's another thing and just it's passed down through generations. So if your parents weren't big on oral hygiene, then the children aren't, and it
Yeah.
just keeps going. So those are the things that affect us.
It's funny you say that. I recall vividly, I think Mr. Hegler even told me that you guys had an affiliation over there at Temple University at Broad and Allegheny. And he asked me, he said, Rick, I want you to ride over there and you'll see our sign posted up out there. I thought that was really wonderful that you guys had established a relationship with Temple University Dental School, or had a
Yeah,
collaboration. Something was happening there.
that relationship has been developing over the years, and I have to give kudos to the dean there. I'm a Ishmael. He is very connected with the community and wants to improve. And one of his focuses was on patients that were dental patients but had medical problems.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, he collaborated with us, and GPHA put a medical facility within the dental school so that when a patient is coming to get dental care, but their high blood pressure is off the chart, then they can immediately be seen in the medical suite. So just that type of collaboration is something, that is unheard of. And like one of the first in the nation, probably, but it's collaborations, having ideas, bringing your ideas to fruition, having the right partners, the right people.
Yeah. Wow. So listen, we got a caller on line one. We got Yusef calling from West Oak Lane. Yusef, welcome to the show.
Yes, I wanted to ask the dentist a question. I heard her mention Holmesburg. I was a resident in Holmesburg in the early 90s, and there was a dentist there, a black female dentist, who did some work on my front tooth. And I was wondering, was she working there then?
I was gone by the 90s. I worked there during the 80s. So I was gone by then, but I know all the female dentists that were working there during that period. The late Dr. Stan Brown was the director of that program. And I don't know if it was intentional, but all the dentists at the male Holmesburg prison were females. And so I don't know if he did that on purpose, because he worked at the detention center and that was all females. But no, I do know the dentists that were there, but it was not me.
Well,
but I hope you got quality care anyway. Yes. I still hope you got good care.
I've had dental work done by black female dentists and white male dentists. The best dental work I had done was by black female. The work that she did on my front tooth, it was a broken tooth, and she added dental.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. She restored that tooth so that it looked natural, like it never was broken.
It's still there. Yes, sir. But the work done on my back tooth by white male dentists, that didn't last. I don't know what they put in my back tooth, but I had to get the back tooth, a couple of my back tooth taken out after they did work on it. But the black female, the work she did is still there, and that was over 30 years ago. Okay?
Wow.
So I give all the credit to black females. I love you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the love.
Yusef, thanks for calling, man. We're going to go, hey, Dr. Lloyd, folks are calling in. We have Jim calling from West Philadelphia on the line. Jim, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. And when I heard you on there, it really piqued my attention. I've had a long interest in dental care and teeth, having lost some in this continuing battle over the years with root canals, partials, and everything. But the one thing that stands out is you don't get a second chance at teeth that can't regrow. So it seems that the best prevention is never to lose them in the first place and start as a child with your teeth to have the dental care to keep them clean, because maybe it should be discussed what the catalyst is to, bad dental health as far as cleaning the teeth properly, removing the food and residue that helps create the acid erosion. What acid erosion is, just preventive things.
Yeah.
I think is a help. I've invented the toothbrush basically aimed at people with diminished physical capacity. I'm working on them in my third patent, so I became well aware of how important it is to clean teeth. But nobody really realizes what a help it is if a person would say they had a stroke or they've developed rheumatism or any number of things that doesn't allow a person to really grip a regular toothbrush, which is a straight stick with bristles on it, and correctly do all of the things you're supposed to clean the teeth. It just one day popped in my head what it should look like. I'm in my third patent, and I'm working on having the first batch of them produced.
Okay, Jim.
That's excellent. That is excellent, because you are absolutely right. And I had worked, been present with the individuals, what does IDD stand for, with developmental disabilities? I can't remember what IDD stands for, but there are, that's in the forefront of the news now, because we're trying to have all people have equal access to care. But there are things, and even simple things like you just said, a toothbrush. People with cerebral palsy, oftentimes they cannot hold a toothbrush in a way that, will provide adequate care. And people that are autistic, sometimes they cannot either, but they also don't want you to do it. So there's so many factors that are, associated with that. So I applaud you, and, maybe, I will be able to communicate with you further down the line, and, maybe we can help each other.
Hey, thanks for calling, Jim.
That's no problem. I can leave my number, contact information with the producer, and send you a packet of information, including a video of how the brush works and everything.
Yes, because we do see disabled patients, because we have 2 pediatric dentists on staff, and pediatric dentists usually see children, but they also see adults that are disabled too.
Thanks for calling, Jim. So we got a lot to do.
I know.
Jim, leave a number with Mike, and we'll make sure Dr. Lloyd gets the number, and you guys can connect the dots. Okay, sure. Jim? So listen, Dr. Lloyd, we're going to take a break. There's a couple of things I'm going to ask, and I want you to start thinking about that. One of the things is, what is the ages to start receiving like dental care? The appropriate ages. We also want to talk about how you guys are doing outreach in the community to reach above and beyond the folks to get the services that you guys provide over there at GPHA. I'm so excited. Hey, for guys that are listening and viewing, we have Dr. Lloyd on here from GPHA, the Chief Dental Director. I'm going to give you a title, the Chief Dental Director over here at GPHA. Phone lines are open, 215-634-8065, toll free, 1-888-66-361-0900. We're going to take a break and come back. Listen, don't be afraid to call. Questions, concerns, or comments, give us a call. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Greater Philadelphia Health Action, GPHA, has been a champion of quality and comprehensive healthcare services for more than 50 years. GPHA is your total healthcare home, providing medical, dental, behavioral health, pharmacy, and child development services. GPHA now offers telehealth visits to connect you with a provider from the safety of your home. Sick visits, follow-ups, chronic disease medication management, subspecialty care, behavioral health therapy, dental, and more. pediatrics through adults. Know your health. Know yourself. Be aware of your health and any underlying health issues that you may have. In-person appointments are also available, ensuring all CDC guidelines are followed for your safety. Schedule an appointment today with GPHA, 1-888-296-GPHA or gphainc.org. GPHA, your total healthcare home, 1-888-296-GPHA or visit us online at gphainc.org. Save Cleaners, located at 900 West Girard Avenue. Open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. 215-235-2040. Here's what some of their customers are saying about Save Cleaners. Joe says, most reasonably priced dry cleaners I've found. John says, great place, fair prices. And Marietta says, best place to take your clothes for the price, and they do a good job. That's Save Cleaners, located 900 West Girard Avenue, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. 215-235-2040. Men and Women for Human Excellence is a drug and alcohol treatment program seeking to strengthen, empower, and inspire individuals through holistic, person-first, strength-based recovery, such as drug and alcohol treatment to individuals and families through 2 levels of care, intensive outpatient and outpatient. They also provide assistance to individuals to begin the recovery process for issues related to their mental health status. Case management services are also provided to assist individuals in recovery with essential services that are necessary for a successful transition and integration into their communities as a productive, responsible citizen. One other service they provide is a substance-free living environment which alcohol and substance users can holistically rebuild their lives by using the person-first, strength-based approach that emphasizes recovery and resilience. They also provide free transportation. For more information, call 215-769-7045. That's 215-769-7045. They are a family-strengthening organization.
This is not the time to get distracted. And this is not the time to go off course. This is not the time to lose your focus. Got a work to do for the Lord. And you cannot afford to lose your way. You come too far from where you started. So please don't let the time you've sown be wasted on things that you later regret, wishing you never had. Once you realize it wasn't worth it, your destiny is too important to give up for anything. This is not a time to get distracted. No, no, no.
Hey, we back here with 900 WURD. Hey, man, I'm your host, Rick Ford. We have our wonderful guest on the line, Dr. Lloyd, the Chief Dental Director over there at GPHA. Dr. Lloyd, that was my song. It's called Your Destiny. And me and my wife, when we hear that song, we begin to tear up because it's so emotional. It's called Your Destiny by Kevin LeVar. So we want to get back into the conversation. I'm so excited that you're here tonight, Dr. Lloyd. One of the questions I wanted to really, what are some of the fear factors that our people have? I know there's a host of folks that don't want to go to the dentist, and and I'll tell you, I'll give you my own personal. Being a public figure, I'm constantly on TV, constantly in the face of folks, and I knew how important it was for me to make sure that I had the proper denture stuff together.
Right.
And I recall vividly, I think I was playing basketball or something, and I cracked my front tooth. My sister used to work for a dentist at 13th and South, Dr. Lee.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
It was he African American?
no, he wasn't. Dr. Lee, I think he could have been Chinese or Vietnamese. My sister worked there for like 25 years.
Wow.
And I was so afraid because my very first encounter with him, he cut my gun. So I almost wanted to get up and, you know. So let's talk a little bit about the fear factors that mainly for our people, black and brown people, why are they afraid to go to the, and let's talk about the benefits.
Okay. Well, the fear factor is basically because it's almost, people feel like every time they go to the dentist, they have to get a needle. Nobody likes to get a needle. Yeah. So that's what originated. And prior to getting a needle, there was no anesthesia, and it was very painful. If you've ever had a toothache, if you've ever had dental work done without anesthesia, it can be very sensitive, because when I was younger, I went to the dentist. I had some small cavities, and the dentist filled them without anesthesia. And as I got older and being a dentist now, I wish the dentist had given me anesthesia. But back then, they didn't give you anesthesia if it wasn't deep and all of that. So that alone, you know, caused fear in the communities that we serve. Also, you know, it can hurt sometimes. So nobody's standing in line trying to get pain. So, you know, that's it. Then there are myths that people hear. And some of the myths are that, you know, well, if it's not bothering me, I'm not going to bother it. So meaning they wait until it does bother them. When it does bother them, it's really traumatic. You know, their face swells up, they're in a lot of pain, it's throbbing, and so they don't want to go to the dentist, or they had a bad experience, or someone they know had a bad experience. So that trickles on down. So these are the things that, you know, that keep us afraid of going to the dentist. But that is so old news. You know, like dentistry has really changed. There are things that you can take. The needles have changed. I mean, we still have to give you anesthesia at GPHA. Most of our sites do provide nitrous if you need something else to calm you down, and especially for the children to get cooperation. But, you know, for the most part, it is really minimal. You won't even know that you got an injection.
So for those that are viewing and listening, where do, at all the locations sponsored by GPHA, is dentistry at all those locations?
Dentistry is in 5 of our health facilities. One of them does not, well, it has medical, but not every day. It's 5501 well, that's not the official name, but that's what we call it because it's at 5501 Woodland Avenue. Right, and it's dental and behavioral health care, you know, that's what it is called, and that is what is there. They also have medicals there some days. So we have it at 55th and Woodland. We have it at 4510 Frankfurt Avenue. And our Frankfurt Avenue is the one that has adult dentistry on the first floor and then pediatric dentistry on the mezzanine. And then we have a standalone, meaning there are no other services associated with it, and that is our 640 Snyder, it's 7th and Snyder address. We have a site there, and we have, you know, the dental suite in Chinatown, the old administration building, and that's at 432 North 6th Street. And we have Hunting Park, which is 1999 Hunting Park Avenue. So we're, and like the 8th dental suite that we will be opening will be at our 800 Washington Avenue location in our Southeast Health Center, we're going to put dental on the entire second floor. So that's coming probably the end of the spring, beginning of the summer.
You know, that's really interesting. And I think the folks who are viewing it, listening again, we start talking about like insurances and all that. You know, maybe you guys can, and again, kind of, if you want to ask questions, you mentioned all those locations. Let's help our people get services. You know, in the middle of COVID-19, and I think one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Dr. Lloyd, was in terms of marketing and outreach. How do you guys go about that in the middle of COVID-19?
Well, during COVID-19, some of our services certainly had diminished. We were in 4 charter schools prior to COVID-19, meaning we were providing dental services. We had a health facility, so we provided medical, dental, and behavioral health in 4 charter schools. Auden Reed, I can't think of them offhand, there, all in the Southwest area. And it was wonderful because people, if you do good by their children, then they'll come and see you afterwards. So, that's always a good intro. We do advertise. We have something called community dental health coordinators. Another project in collaboration with Temple and the American Dental Association. And we have had community dental health coordinators since 2012. And their job is to help people with access, enrollment, to navigate their insurance process, to get them appointments, and to provide, preventive care and education. They do that. We have public health dental hygiene practitioners. They're a step above a regular hygienist, meaning they can work without a dentist as long as it's in a public health facility, which we are a public health facility. So they go into medical, they have gone into behavioral health, and they contact with people who have no dental home or have not had dental services. And they educate them, they introduce them to our locations, our services, they schedule them appointments. They're on the OBGYN side. They approach and make contact with pregnant women. A lot of pregnant women, because we haven't answered that question yet, but I will since I'm bringing this up, don't know about when to start taking their child to the dentist. It was 3 years old. What researchers have found was that 3 years old was too late to take your child to the dentist. They had too many cavities, too many teeth that needed to be extracted.
3 years old?
3 years old. The goal is now by the eruption of the child's first dental appointment should be by the eruption of the first tooth, one tooth, and or by their first birthday. So your child should be visiting the dentist by the eruption of their first tooth or their first birthday. So you say, what are you doing for one tooth? Well, we have little toothbrushes that you can use. You use just a micro bit of toothpaste. You'll want to get a toothpaste that's geared for children because it's safe if they swallow it. They have things that look like finger cots, like a little piece of latex rubber that goes over your finger that has a little bristle on it, and the parent can put their finger in there and clean the tooth off. It's also healthy for parents to look at the child's gums, to look at the teeth. What is different? And we have brochures. All of our outreach workers have brochures on different subjects like diabetes and gum disease, pregnant women, when to take your child to the dentist, how to care for your child's teeth. We have all of that, and that's their job. That's what they do. They educate the public. You know what Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. And that's a fact. That's a fact. When I was young growing up, I used to think when you got older, your teeth fell out automatically because the people in my family had dentures. So I thought your teeth fell out.
Right.
But I grew up, I learned that you can retain your teeth if you take care of your teeth. But it involves work, it involves discipline, and you have to be aware, you have to be educated. So that is so important. And I spend that time, even with children, you know, letting them see the plaque, why I know they're not brushing their teeth. I tell them, I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
I want you to see what, you know, you have on your teeth. This should not be on your teeth because it destroys the enamel. It causes you to have caries, which people know as cavities, but in dentistry we call it caries. And then that leads to gum disease, which leads to tooth loss, which leads to indigestion, to heartburn, to diabetes, to inflammation. I mean, it's connected in total health. The mouth. The mouth is the gateway to health. What you eat, putting your hands up to your mouth, you know, it's just, it's a plethora, you know.
You just have a wealth of information. You know, normally I usually take breaks, but because of the information, and I want folks to be able to absorb all the information that you are providing. This is a learned lesson, not only for me, but a multitude of people that are viewing and listening.
I'm happy for that because, like I said, when you know better, you do better. When I was younger, I didn't like to brush my teeth that much. I was one of those kind of kids. And I'm not embarrassed because when I learned better, I did better. And one of my friends, I think I was like in first grade or something, and she said to me, "Oh, Arnell, look at your teeth. You have some stuff on your teeth. Look."
Oh,
and it was plaque. It was plaque, but I was embarrassed at that time.
Yes.
And I told her that I had eaten crackers that morning for breakfast. That was my excuse.
You know, it's funny.
But you know what? You know what? I brushed my teeth every day from then on because I didn't know you could tell. I did not know. And not only could you tell, it was damaging to your teeth. So that kind of saved my teeth along the way. You never know what, like you said, God has in store for you.
Yeah.
You know, he shows you something for a reason, right? So that's what happened.
You know, I think about my own behavior growing up, and we hear that stuff going up from our parents, brush your teeth. But when I think of all the other external components that I start extracting, you know, eating bad food, all those other things. And, you know, and I'll say this for the record, I think I told you, I've been in recovery now 30 years.
Yeah.
And it was so important for me. Once I got clean, I start trying to clean up the records of my past. And I share that to folks that are viewing and listening. You know, I was in a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I was just astonished that there were, and I want to be mindful how I say this. There was a lot of folks on that meeting, on the Zoom meeting, but folks were speaking, and I was saying, man, go get you some teeth. To be honest. And
well, you know what happens, just like you were saying that you had broken your tooth. What happens, and I spoke about people don't value what they have. Many of us have insurance and we don't use the insurance. We don't get our teeth checked. And then when we no longer have it, then a problem occurs. And then it's so expensive and we decide not to get it. But we become used to it. So in the beginning, that cracked tooth looked horrible. But over time, you know, it doesn't look so bad. Or you see the person that talks like this, you know?
Yeah.
And so I understand, but valuing your insurance, if you have insurance out there in this world that I'm talking to now, and you have a dentist or access to a dentist, please see your dentist, because dentistry or problems don't hurt until they have really gone to advanced stages. And that's when it's very costly. You may have to get teeth removed. You may need root canal. And like the gentleman said, sometimes you can get a root canal and it still fails. It's not saying that the dentist did a bad job, but all root canals are not successful for whatever reason. So there are so many nuances and factors involved. So if you have insurance, see your dentist. Even if you don't, see your dentist. You know, at GPHA, we used to post our basic dental fees. And it was my idea because I felt like people, if they had an idea of what it costs to get an exam, a full set of x-rays, just to get your teeth checked, because they were thinking it was going to cost $1,000, but it was costing maybe $300 or $200 or something like that. So at least you know what you need to bring. And we posted it to help people to kind of calm them down so they would reach out for us.
Wow. So Dr. Lloyd, we have like a good hot minute.
Okay.
Anybody, listen, I'm so excited. We're going to get you back on here at a further date. Is there anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
That I want to thank?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's so many people. Like, I have to thank my mother, first of all, because she was a single mother, and I'm here, you know, because of her. You know, just wanting me to do better than her. I want to thank Mr. Hegler, who believed in me, gave me a chance, an opportunity. My team that I work with a wonderful team. Just my peers, the staff at GPHA, my boss now, Brian Clark, Dr. Young, and the whole executive staff. Like I said, I could go on and on. My husband, who supports me, you know, on a daily basis and lets me, you know, live my dream. What I do, I love. And I think that's what people see. I love what I do.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And just like I was sharing with you earlier, it makes you feel good to give back, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to share this one little story with you before we go. I had a patient come to my 25th Street office with a full set of dentures, upper denture, full. She had just gotten it, and she had gone back to her dentist at another location, another ethnic group, and it was almost like this denture did not belong to her. I don't know how somebody delivered it to her and gave that to her. She was holding it with her tongue trying to talk to me because it didn't fit any kind of way. And she wanted me to help, you know, make it fit. I didn't have to make the denture over, but it was just, I couldn't believe that somebody didn't care and just could do that to someone. And the moral of the story is, like, I do care. You know, I have lost doing things for people that I didn't get paid for, that kind of thing. But it just was important that people learn that is my mission sometimes. Like you were saying, it's not about the money all the time.
That's right.
It's not. It's about what
The
you
passion.
feel in here. Yeah, it is.
Wow. You know, time flies, Dr. Lloyd. And again,
I was so
told-
nervous, coming on. Remember?
I told you, this is what we do. We bring hope and healing over
Yeah.
the airwaves. And I want to professionally and personally thank you. We are friends now.
Okay.
I'm going to
Great.
over there and see you over there. I want to thank the wonderful folks over there, Maggie Lyons, Markeisha.
Yes. Thank Markeisha IS who helped me.
The
Get
IS people, all the folks
Yes.
who've been assisting us, bringing the show on the air here at 900 AM WURD. Again, a wealth of information. Their phone number again over there for folks that are viewing and listening. I think we'll play that commercial again. Write down the number, take advantage of the opportunity, not only to get the dental services, behavioral health services, and everything else that they do over there at the wonderful GPHA. My final thoughts have always been love someone because someone needs to love you back. To the first lady of recovery who got a shot today, Sheila Ford, my wife, and my 82-year-old mother-in-law. We're going to go upstairs and have dinner. We watched last night Coming to America. We had a great time. So listen, stay tuned. Don't change that dial right here at 900 AM WRD. Guess who's coming next? Our good friend, Lloyd Cummings. And Dr. Lloyd, God bless you and you stay safe.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Out of here. Yes.
All right.
I'm going to give that number. I'm going to call you.